Hello, welcome to another INFJ ramble. I don't know how I'm going to piece everything together, but I got several insights today that were pretty profound to me, and I wanted to share them with you. I know the wholeness of what I'm going to discuss revolves around the topic awareness versus thoughts. So I was sitting around today by myself. It's my day off, and I love this time that I give to myself to just do nothing and to just enjoy each moment and to allow whatever thought or emotion wants to come up to the surface for me to view. I enjoy watching that process immensely. And not only is it rewarding and insightful, it enables me to kind of watch like the process of thoughts and emotions rising and how they affect me on a mental level, a emotional level, a physical level, and to just kind of watch that process occur and then eventually pass away. I think we keep thoughts and emotions in place, which eventually creates blockage in the body, and that's why you have pain or stiffness or dis-ease to some degree. It's unprocessed thoughts or emotions that have built up in the system. And because you have been running around and you haven't given yourself the time to really self-reflect and heal and clear yourself, it gets lodged inside, and then, you don't realize how much it's lodged itself until, you start feeling discomfort of some sort. And then you go out and seek like help from physicians or holistic healers, you know what I mean? But if you catch it like early on in the subtler states, then the body will, everything will flow very, how do I say, holistically, or there'll just be a flow. There won't be any block in the flow of things. But anyhow, I was sitting with myself today, and then, I was thinking about events, and I was thinking about like certain things, and then I was, creating scenarios of how I want these things to play out. And then I noticed that emotions were arising. Emotions were attached to the thoughts that were arising, and also noticed that I was putting so much energy into thinking, and it was exhausting. I mean, I think you can relate because INFJs and our brethren seem to be overthinkers, right? I think I've kind of moved through that phase in my life, to be honest. Sometimes I catch myself getting stuck in it, but then I'm quick to like pull myself out of it. When you get stuck in like overthinking or overanalyzing or trying to understand something, and that's the thing, trying to understand instead of just allowing, instead of accepting what is, instead of holding on and grasping and having all these expectations and attachments, you just kind of just move through life like that, and then like move forward, and then whatever presents itself, you accept it and then release it and just keep moving forward and just flowing just like that, instead of, finding something or someone and just kind of getting fixated on that and then just getting stuck, and then, just kind of like exerting a lot of mental and emotional energy around this thing, instead of just kind of like seeing it and then just kind of like letting it go and passing through it, you know what I mean? And I think that's a difference between thoughts and awareness. So thoughts is getting stuck, right, in the monkey mind, and all the various thoughts, and emotions that are, you know what I mean, that are attached to these thoughts, and then just kind of letting them play alchemically in your body and then get you all like hazed out, you know. um yeah, I've started to be aware of the the reactions, you know, to allowing these thoughts and emotions to just kind of take over. And now I just kind of like, when I feel something or I think something, I just kind of recognize it and I go, oh, hey there. There you are. I'm looking at you. And I'm just going to let you do what you need to do and then allow you to leave, you know, instead of getting so fixated and stuck and attached and blocked. It feels so much better, you know? And I think like that's coming from a place of awareness, you know, just recognizing the thought patterns, recognizing the emotional ties to the thoughts, recognizing, you know, like put your potential to react to the thoughts or emotions, just kind of being the watcher. But not I know like some of you guys have like gotten to that point, but I'm slowly realizing that I'm functioning from that place like predominantly, you know what I mean? And when you do, I feel like you don't really let anything, including yourself, affect you too much. And it's not that you care less or you love less. And in fact, when you do this, you don't really have to try too hard to understand anything. It's just, you just understand that it is. You know what I mean? I don't know if it made sense. I was just watching this other video. This gentleman was talking about controlling your mind. It's not about controlling your mind. It's about becoming friends with your mind, you know, not fighting it. In another video, I said something about monkey mind, and you should just hug your monkey. But going back to the story, so this king had 4 horses, and they were wild horses, but they were beautiful and magnificent creatures, but nobody could, you know, handle them or put a saddle on them or anything. They're just completely wild. And after some time, after many attempts and many injuries, you know, they kind of gave up on trying to tame these horses. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the stranger appears and he tells the king, you know, give me the horses, give me a year, and I promise you I can tame them. You know, so months go by, a year goes by, and the young man still hasn't returned. So the king just kind of figured the wild horses ran free, and you know the gentleman probably perished somewhere. But anyhow, the young man does return, and he's riding the horses, and they're all like, you know, saddled up, and they're all like kind of like walking or running in sync. And the king is amazed. He's like, wow, how did you do it, you know? And the young man said that, well, you know, at first, you know, they didn't trust me. The horses didn't trust him. So, you know, he would just kind of let them roam free. And, you know, when they would eat, he would eat. When they would drink, he would prepare his tea, drink. When they would sleep and rest, he would rest. And eventually the horses came to trust him. In fact, the horses probably thought he was just another horse that looked strange. So once he kind of like progressed to that step, he would try to touch the horse. And obviously because, you know, being touched is foreign to them, they would not like it, and they would kind of like, you know, like dodge. But after he would do that consistently, you know, eventually they got used to his touch, and then eventually they got used to like a saddle being put on them and so forth. So I guess the whole gist of the story was, you know, wherever your mind goes, instead of fighting it, you should just kind of flow with it and just allow it to be and make friends with it. I mean, that's what I got from the story. You know, like if your mind is feeling sad, instead of like fighting and saying, I shouldn't feel this way, just go with the sadness, and then like see where it takes you. Eventually you'll find that nothing lasts forever, since it's so transient, you know, everything's so transient. So things arise and they pass away if you stay with them long enough, if you give yourself the time to sit with it, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, we don't give ourselves that time or that rest or that ease to like really befriend ourselves and befriend our mind and understand, realize fully like how it functions, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've given myself the time to do so, and it's I feel a priority for me now. Like before, I used to be a workaholic, but then I realized I was just running from myself, and I didn't want to face the discomforting feelings within myself. But now, I give myself time to sit with these things and to befriend them and understand them, and then release them when they're ready to go. And eventually they go, you know, because like I said, nothing lasts forever. But yeah, alone time is healing for me, and it's a priority. It's kind of like breathing and eating and sleeping, right? Anyhow, that's my little ditty on awareness versus thoughts. I don't really let the thoughts or the emotions run me, or I'm getting better at not letting them run me. I mean, obviously I'm not a master yet, so I still falter at times, but I'm getting better. And I think, like anything, if you keep practicing and practicing, you make that muscle stronger, and eventually, you know, you have that strength to really like enter that field of consciousness that you've been striving towards. Anyhow, thank you for watching. If you learned something, cool. If you didn't learn something, that's cool too. If you're wondering what this is, I finished taking a shower and I am drying it in this turban like thing. Anyhow, blessings to one and all. Amen.